statement, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was so happy that I was not just after Jamaica, but now I think we are losing the war after Singapore. Anyway, I have a technical text. Obviously, I also took the floor to request your support for our candidacy for the Council membership. As a maritime nation, Turkey has been a founding member of the IMO, actively participating since its establishment, and has held a Council membership since 1999. Throughout these years, Turkey has demonstrated steadfast commitment to maritime safety, security, and the protection of the marine environment. Geographically, as all of you know, Turkey stands at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, with coastlines along the Mediterranean, Aegean, and Black Seas. This strategic location makes us a key player in global maritime trade routes. Our merchant fleet ranks 12th globally, with a tonnage of 45 million deadweight tons, and around 140,000 Turkish seafarers are serving the global shipping sector. Our modern and well-equipped ports serve as a crucial nodes in global supply chains. We have 190 ports open to international maritime traffic, 4 of which are among the world's top 100. We are also a significant port state with the capacity to handle different types of cargo and various sizes of vessels using modern equipment. Last year, Turkish ports handled over 540 million tons of cargo and more than 12 million TEUs of containers. Furthermore, we are among the top 5 countries in both shipbuilding and environmentally sound and safe ship recycling, ranking 3rd in superyacht building. We attach utmost importance to the safety and navigation to reduce risks to life, property, and the marine environment on our coasts. We support the green transition and the development of a sustainable maritime economy to achieve the ambitions set out in the revised GHG strategy. The high performance of the Turkish flag is reflected in the whitelist of PSC regimes like Paris and Tokyo MOU. We are proud that Türkloydu has recently become the 12th member of International Association of Classification Societies. In short, Turkey's rich maritime history, strategic geographic location, and commitment to maritime safety and environmental sustainability make it an ideal candidate for this crucial role. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Cyprus to make a statement, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Cyprus is a small island located in the eastern Mediterranean Sea at the crossroads of 3 major continents and with a long maritime tradition. Cyprus is currently one of the world's largest and leading ship management centers. Its maritime transport industry provides employment to tens of thousands of seafarers from across the world under conditions that fully comply with the relevant IMO and ILO treaties. Cyprus, being a council member of the IMO since 1987, has and will continue to promote a safe, secure, environmentally sound, efficient, and sustainable shipping industry. It will continue to participate in the work of the organization with the same zeal and commitment. Our industry is global, and so are the challenges, which must continue to be addressed in a cooperative and collaborative spirit within the IMO, our global maritime organization. The IMO, as the international regulator on safety, security, and environmental protection issues of transport by sea, needs to take into consideration the increasing interests of all stakeholders when reaching decisions. Cyprus will continue to facilitate progress in IMO's work by promoting greater understanding and tolerance. Cyprus has once again submitted for consideration by the Assembly its candidacy for re-election as a member of the Council. The new Council, in cooperation with the new Secretary General, will be required to ensure the continuation of the work of IMO until the next regular session of the Assembly. In doing so, it will need to act within the framework of the new strategic plan and the approved financial resources and promote the implementation of new activities such as multilingualism. Cyprus, also because of its long-standing membership in the Council of the IMO, has the knowledge, experience, and capacity to continue to make meaningful contributions to the work of the Council. Cyprus will be greatly honored if the Assembly renews its trust by re-electing it to the Council in Category C. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. I'd like to invite Denmark to make a statement.
Thank you. Mr. President, Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, dear friends. In the interest of time, I will try to keep it very short. Denmark is a candidate for the IMO Council under Category C. It is in a time where the maritime world faces significant challenges in the coming years. That includes a green transition, safety and security in a time of still more complex technologies, and not least the seafarers' future competences, their health and well-being. To ensure effective global solutions and a just and equitable transition, we all need a continued strong IMO. Denmark stands fully committed to keep the IMO as the strong focal point of global maritime regulation that works in a holistic and inclusive manner. And that is the core basis for our candidature to the Category C of the IMO Council. And for that, we sincerely hope for your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Denmark. That was very close. Very, very close. I'd now like to invite Belgium to make a statement.
Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General, dear members of the IMO, ladies and gentlemen. We all want to give our best every day for our treasured maritime sector, and we all want a strong IMO at the center of the discussions. It is the IMO that provides the maritime world with the tools to enhance strengths and grasp opportunities. It is the IMO that forges the strongest shields to protect our ships, harbors, and above all, our seafarers. Dear members, you have trusted us several times to be member of the IMO Council in the past. We are eager to continue contributing and hope to count on your support once more. What can you expect from Belgium? Briefly, first, as a strong maritime nation, we bring extensive expertise to the table, as well as a love for innovation. We are at the forefront of developing green corridors, offshore energy, autonomous shipping, and other cutting-edge technologies for sustainable shipping. Secondly, maritime security remains at the top of our agenda. Belgium has recently adopted a new law on maritime security, and we will bring this expertise to the organization and work with our public and private partners here in the IMO. To enhance security worldwide, we have also made a contribution to the International Maritime Security Trust Fund. And finally, we will strive to make the maritime sector more inclusive and more diverse, a safe place for all. The well-being of seafarers is a priority for my country, and that is why we are organizing an international high-level event on the well-being of seafarers next March the 8th. This is also International Women's Day, and special attention will go to women in maritime affairs. We have indeed rolled out several projects, organized various events to ensure that women have equal opportunities and rights aboard of our ships. So, Mr. President, because of its size, geography, and history, Belgium is a country that is used to building bridges between different perspectives around the table. This comes as a second nature to many of my citizens. My country firmly believes in the power of IMO and wants to continue contributing to it, and that is why I'm here today asking all of you members to elect Belgium once again to the IMO Council, because, and I quote our campaign slogan, "Together we see clear," and see is not spelled S-E-E. I thank you for your support.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize South Africa to make a statement.
Thank you, Mr. President, Secretary General, Excellencies. Over the past couple of days, we reminded member states in detail of South Africa's rich maritime history and heritage and how it relates to the maritime world and the extent to which our work as a maritime nation contributes to our own socio-economic development, the continent, and the world at large, including the work of the International Maritime Organization. South Africa has about 3,000 kilometers of coastline and more than 1.5 million square meters of ocean area that comprises our exclusive economic zone. The safety of navigation along the South African coast and within harbors is ensured through a variety of measures, inclusive of lighthouse services operating within the ambit of the International Association of Lighthouse Authorities, providing aids to navigation. South Africa is a signatory to many IMO conventions. South Africa provides a focal point function to the Maritime Technology Cooperation Center, MTCC Africa, for the southern region. We are known for the Cape shipping route. South Africa has successfully participated in various IMO projects, including the Global Energy Efficiency Partnership Project, and is currently a lead pilot country in the IMO-driven and Norwegian government-sponsored Green Voyage 2050 project. South Africa is forging ahead in the development of mixed alternative marine fuels and currently working on hydrogen, LNG, and biofuel with strategic partners. South Africa has one of the largest search and rescue regions in the world, covering close to 30 million square kilometers of ocean. Some of the world's most treacherous seas are found within this vast expanse. On the 15th of April this year, South Africa Marine Rescue Coordination Center was honored with a Seamanship Award for 2022 by the Ocean Cruising Club. South Africa, as an active and loyal member of the IMO, hosted a successful IMO World Maritime Day parallel event in October last year, the first of its kind in the continent, and with that, another historical milestone for the African continent. President, South Africa served as a president of Assembly in 2020-2021, as vice chairperson of the IMO Council from 2005 to 2015. South Africa also participated, and it participates and provides technical inputs in many more committees of the IMO. Distinguished delegates, we ask your countries to honor us with your support for election under Category C of the IMO Council. South Africa is the only candidate from the Southern African region. If elected, we do commit to serve all IMO member states with distinction. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'd now like to recognize Malta.
Thank you, Mr. President, for affording me to address this Assembly on this important matter. Before I proceed, Mr. President, allow me to extend to you our compliments for your patience, unwavering attention, and resilience in surviving this marathon and long hours of speeches, not least of all today. Your family would have been proud of you and full of admiration watching you to lead this Assembly. Distinguished delegates, it is my privilege to remind you that Malta is requesting you to allow us to serve on the Council of this august organization. We have sent to you and to IMO, of course, and your capitals enough not verbal announcing and reminding you of our candidature. We are grateful for the internet, otherwise the cost of communication would have been quite high. I do not know whether you have bothered to go through Annex 35 of document A3323-1. It is Malta's case for membership to the Council. I shall refrain from going through it again. I do not want to annoy you and risk losing your vote. I am afraid Malta will not be in the next World Cup. We love football, but our strength is the sea. Although my own family could also have been pleased to see their relative from the small island state of Malta addressing you, they wouldn't have been so impressed with my attempt to bring to your attention Maritime Malta, simply because they would have thought that it is no big deal to remind such a large number of maritime experts of Malta's natural maritime vocation at the center of the Mediterranean, of the wide range of extensive maritime facilities that we offer, tangible evidence to our long-declared policy in support of our lifeline that is safe, secure, and sustainable environmentally sound shipping on clean seas. This same policy led to the universally adopted declaration that the sea is the common heritage of mankind, a policy that supports developing countries and small island states and in support of technical cooperation. I reiterate the announcement made by my Honourable Minister on Monday of our contribution to the TC Fund. This same policy led to the establishment and hosting in Malta of REMPEC and IMLI. In this regard, we address warm greetings to the large number of IMLI and WMU graduates present here today. We are proud of you. As I draw to an end, we thank all states that extended to us their generous hospitality. We congratulate the 20 member states already elected to the new council and best wishes to those who, like Malta, are seeking election under Category C. We extend our friendship to all. It is not because we are good people, we are simply streetwise, since we are too small to pick up a fight with anybody. So, distinguished delegates, and you, Mr. President, thank you. May God be with you, and best wishes for the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'd like to recognize Thailand to make a statement, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everyone. I have the honor to present Thailand candidate for re-election to be IMO Council member under the Category C for the term 2024 to 2025. Thailand has placed maritime transport as our priority, aiming to be the hub of shipping, cargo, transport, both land and sea to worldwide market. As an active member state of the IMO since 1973, Thailand has actively participated in the work of IMO and support IMO's value to ensure that the effective implementation of international shipping standards and has been proactive, working to promote safe and secure global maritime transport. Distinguished delegates, Thailand has received confidence from the IMO member states to be the council member for 9 consecutive terms since 2006, and we are always grateful for the trust you have on us. We, therefore, has been working tirelessly to ensure that the work of this organization will benefit the maritime community. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, your support for Thailand at this election will enable Thailand to continue our work for this organization and the global maritime community. As a humble women in the maritime sector and the Deputy Minister of Transport of Thailand. I can assure that your support for Thailand will not go in vain. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd now like to invite Peru to make a statement.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very much, President. Peru aspires to return to the IMO Council because we feel that the organisation needs broader participation from developing countries such as my country. A broader geographic representation would benefit all member states. It would bestow more legitimacy and effectiveness on the organisation's decisions. Therefore, Peru is willing and able to contribute substantially to meeting the objectives and the mission of the IMO. While Peru was part of the Council, we contributed to important achievements such as adopting amendments to the Convention and adopting the initial strategy for the reduction of GHG emissions from ships. Furthermore, Peruvian delegates have served as chairs and vice chairs of the Council, of the Assembly, and of the Council Working Group on Reform of the Council. So Peru has always tried to serve as a bridge between the interests of developed countries and those of developing countries, fostering broad consensus and significant progress in the organisation. If member states do choose Peru to be part of the Council, the aim of my country will be to give greater impetus to negotiations on climate change, which is the most important issue facing us in the IMO at the moment. The developing world is on the front line when it comes to climate change, and it should be our priority. And therefore, in the negotiations, we need to specifically look at the needs of developing countries, LDCs and SIDSs in particular, and this within the framework of common but differentiated responsibilities. Peru also wants to work with the Secretariat so that we have technical cooperation that is more specifically tailored to the requirements of every member state. And in this way, technical cooperation would have more of an impact in capacity building in developing countries and would contribute in a more effective manner to reduce the gulf between us and developed states. Delegates, as a result of our history, all of the developing countries have different views, different needs. However, there are joint and shared challenges, and this leads us to desire to participate on an equal footing in the decision-making decisions on global issues that affect us all urgently, such as climate change. Peru believes that better representation, the climate action on the climate and technical cooperation are absolutely essential in order to bridge the gap between developed and developing countries and to move towards maritime transport that is fairer, that pollutes less and that genuinely leaves nobody behind. And so we would humbly ask for your vote so that we can carry on working on this path for all member states. Many thanks indeed.
Thank you. I'd now like to recognize Bangladesh to make a statement.
Shukran, Saida Rais. Bangladesh is practicing multilingualism. And to honor you especially, it was very difficult to fit into your shoes last 2 days. Mr. President, it is my great pleasure to introduce Bangladesh's candidature to Category C at the 2023 IMO Council elections. Bangladesh is a resilient maritime nation in the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean, having a seafaring and maritime heritage of over 1,000 years, attaches prime importance to the work of the IMO. Since our membership in the IMO, Bangladesh has tirelessly advanced IMO's mission, vision and priorities for safer, securer, environmentally sound and sustainable shipping, working closely with all our IMO member states. As South Asia's inclusive regional maritime hub, with maritime trade and business with Asia, Europe, Africa, Americas, Caribbean and the Pacific, Bangladesh has been steadfastly contributing to IMO's deliberations and policy in various committees and working groups to address emerging climate and security challenges to sustainable and safe shipping and attaining the SDGs. As a leading ship recycling nation, Bangladesh has once again demonstrated its strong commitment to IMO's GHG reduction strategy by acceding to the Hong Kong Convention on Environmentally Safe Ship Recycling in June 2023 and triggered its historic entry into force right on time. If elected to the Council, Bangladesh will make the best of its opportunity to work closely with IMO members, especially with ship-owning and ship-operating nations, to ensure that greener and safer ship recycling opportunities and challenges, including capacity and technology support to ship recyclers, are integrated into IMO's GHG actions and policies. Bangladesh believes all ships, wherever they are built, must rest in peace in greener and bluer pastures, preferably in Bangladesh. Mr. President, Bangladesh is also the only LDC candidate in Category C for this year and one of the most climatically vulnerable nations. Therefore, whether elected or not, Bangladesh will continue to be a leading voice for LDCs, landlocked countries, SIDS and climate vulnerable nations, and work with IMO membership to better serve the existential maritime, climate and shipping needs of this disadvantaged group of countries. Also, elected or not, Bangladesh remains committed to champion the IMO policies that support protection and well-being of our valued seafarers, including 20,000 from Bangladesh, champion gender equality and women in maritime, promote maritime security and practice multilingualism. Lastly, Mr. President, whether elected or not, Bangladesh, as climate-resilient nation, will continue to consolidate IMO's policy and actions to conserve and protect our oceans, biodiversity, and the planet, and advance IMO's flagship agenda for greener, cleaner, safer, and smarter shipping. Mr. President, before concluding, Bangladesh's national motto is Resilient Bangladesh. As each year, Bangladesh faces colossal natural disasters, but stands up right back on its feet with double the resilience. And we will share the secret of resilience with our IMO peers, if elected. If not, we will not share it. I conclude with a humble thanks to all those countries that have pledged their invaluable support to Bangladesh's candidature and wish all our fellow candidates the very best of luck. Muchas gracias, Señor Presidente. And that's a tribute to our new Secretary General. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to invite Mexico to make a statement, please.
Gracias.
Thank you, President, Secretary General, distinguished delegates. Good afternoon to everybody. I am addressing this assembly on behalf of the Mexican government, the Naval Secretariat, responsible for the National Maritime Authority and Ports Authority, in order to present my country's candidature to the IMO in Council in Category C. We have 11,000 kilometers of coastline with the Pacific on one side, the Atlantic on the other, also the Gulf of Mexico and the Sea of Cortez in the north and the Caribbean Sea. This geographical location has made us a maritime bridge, fostering trade, economic and cultural links, and this dating back to the 16th century, when the maritime route that brought together three continents, Asia, America and Europe, with the China ship, which was also known as the Manila Galleon, or the Acapulco Galleon. We are clearly a maritime and multilateral nature, and therefore, as a founding member of the IMO under the Council since 1978, and reaffirms its commitment to the organization that today, more than ever, is facing a number of crises on the world stage, and therefore has to redouble its efforts in order to remove the risks to international maritime transport. And we have to promote dialogue and consensus between the member states while leaving nobody behind. Distinguished delegates, Mexico is clear that it is this commitment that brings with it responsibilities and needs firm action, and therefore we would like to count on your trust. And if we are re-elected, we will promise to play an active role in those areas that are important for our community. The human element is absolutely essential. We have to give a priority to this. And also, as a founding member of the MAMLA Red and IMO agenda, we will be working on the empowerment of women. We will also be working on multilingualism, and we will also participate in the Secretariat of Rockram and continue in the Tokyo Memorandum. And the crux of our work will be to ensure that we guarantee the fulfillment of our conventions and standards and to boost the actions under the 2024 to fight against GHG emissions, and this together with the compromises that we have in the Paris Agreement and the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. We are the fourth largest world economy. We have a network of commercial links as well, and we can help to facilitate maritime transport, to develop a blue economy, and to strengthen our maritime ties. An example of this is our interoceanic corridor on the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, which we are working on at the moment. So with our candidacy to the Council of the IMO, Mexico is firmly ready to build bridges between all member states so that we can meet the aims of the organization, just as we did back in the 16th century. And now in the 21st century, we want to make sure that we have clean seas and safe shipping, and we count on your support. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Poland to make a statement.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good afternoon to all esteemed delegates. Allow me to express appreciation for this opportunity to convey Poland's strong commitment and readiness to assume a more prominent role within the IMO. Our candidacy to the Council under Category C reflects our unwavering dedication to the principles and objectives of the organization, which we consider crucial for the global maritime community. Poland has diligently worked towards attaining IMO goals, making significant contributions to the organization's mission of ensuring safe and secure shipping, prioritizing the well-being of seafarers, and advocating for the protection of the oceans. Our active participation in IMO activities serves us as tangible evidence of Poland's devotion to the collaborative development of maritime policies and standards, spanning from performance standards for shipborne radio communication to the scoping exercise for maritime autonomous surface ships. I also wish to draw your attention to Poland's distinguished educational institutions, consistently producing well-educated seafarers and a significant number of skilled professionals contributing to maritime activities worldwide. The emphasis on practical knowledge through world-class laboratories and simulation facilities ensures that Polish maritime education stands as a model for the requirements of the STCW Convention. In conclusion, our proven track record, technical expertise, commitment to education and innovation, economic impact, and environmental responsibility position us as a compelling candidate. We stand ready to share our expertise and enhance our contribution to the IMO's noble mission. Poland is open and willing to collaborate on shaping the future of international maritime governance. Mr. President, distinguished delegates, thank you for your attention and support. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize the Bahamas.
Thank you, Mr. President, Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, greetings. I wish to thank all member states for the support of the Bahamas as an IMO Council member. We again seek that support of our candidacy for re-election to the IMO Council in Category C for the 2024-2025 biennium. The Bahamas strongly supports the role of the IMO as a global maritime regulator. As such, the Bahamas consulted and collaborated with all member states leading up to and including MEPC 80 in July 2023 to adopt the IMO revised strategy on the reduction of greenhouse gases from international shipping. I am pleased to report that all of those revisions were approved by the Council. The Bahamas has also submitted papers for discussion on a wide variety of issues, including safety of water mist firefighting systems, maintenance and safety of lifeboat launching systems, passenger ship safety, MARPOL record books, and the regulation of ventilation system of enclosed lifeboats. The Bahamas has ratified and respects the legal framework developed by the IMO and has acceded to all of its major international conventions. The decision by the government of the Bahamas to appoint its first dedicated permanent representative to IMO speaks to the Bahamas' commitment to the work of the IMO. The Bahamas is a strong proponent of gender equality and recognizes the valuable contribution of women to the maritime sector and is actively encouraging the recruitment and retainment of female seafarers. Mr. President, the Bahamas is honored to represent member states in the IMO-ILO joint tripartite body on seafarer matters and equally supports the capacity development efforts through the International Maritime Law Institute and the World Maritime University, where we serve on the Executive Board of Governors. Mr. President, as the 8th largest in ship registry in the world, the reputation of the Bahamas for upholding the highest standard of safety, security, and environmental protection has been recognized in its port state inspection record, with the Bahamas constantly being one of the highest ranked in the world. Mr. President, fellow delegates, we value our Council membership and pledge to continue to work tirelessly in cooperation with the IMO Secretariat, your prospective delegations, and with our partners and friends in the industry to attain the highest practicable standards of maritime safety and security, environment protection, and seafaring training and well-being. I respectfully ask for all of your support for our candidature in the Council elections today. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to recognize Indonesia to make its statement.
Mr. President, Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, as the largest archipelagic state in the world that is located in the intersection of vital shipping lanes, Indonesia has been a dedicated IMO member state since 1961 and a council member since 1973. We express our gratitude for the support of the IMO member state. We are honored if given the opportunity to serve again as a council member under Category C for the period of 2024-2025. Having more than 17,000 islands, more than 640 general seaport, and more than 2,000 special seaport, Indonesia is faced with challenges in connectivity that we have been continuing to build upon. Port development, shipping, seafaring, and digitalization is in the works. Thus, we would like to share our experience and also invite international partners to work together. We are mindful of the impact of climate change and technology advancements. Indonesia will continue to promote capacity development and also establish programs of technical cooperation aimed at the developing economies, including the small island developing states and least developed countries, in the field of, among others, improving the human element, training for seafarers, port experts, marine inspector, and sea pilot projects. We will also encourage more engagement of women in the maritime sector, particularly in advocacy, providing capacity building for disabilities, and in environmental preservation. Indonesia will continue to promote and enhance South cooperation. We stand by the principle that no country shall be left behind. To conclude, we are counting on your valuable support so that we can continue working together with all my IMO member states and other stakeholders, including the industry, to ensure a stronger, professional, and efficient organization that balance economic development, international trade, facilitation, safety, security, and environmental protection in international shipping. With our motto, Promise, which stands for professionalism, moving forward, initiative, and efficient, we humbly request Member States to support and vote Indonesia for category C. Lastly, Mr. President and delegates, for remembering Indonesia, remember the word, our motto, Promise. Again, stand for professionalism, moving forward, initiative, and efficient. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank all the delegates for being very timely and concise. It really helps us get on to what we need to do now. The member states seeking election are Bahamas, Bangladesh, Belgium, Chile, Cyprus, Denmark, Egypt, Finland, Indonesia, Jamaica, Kenya, Malaysia, Malta, Mexico, Morocco, Peru, the Philippines, Poland, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, South Africa, Thailand, and Turkey. Before commencing the election, I wish to inquire if there are any additional candidacies. I would like to now request the Secretariat prepare and distribute the voting papers.